Hello there guys, and welcome back to another epic episode of Inexorable videos. In this video we're going to be taking a look at a second part, hence the number 2, of our quadratic / nonlinear simultaneous equations. Okay. Now we're going to try and do this one without a graph because I don't want to draw too much attention to graphs, because you're not going to do a graph in your exam because it takes too much time. Okay. Not for these questions. You might need to do a graph for questions that come later in this chapter of simultaneous equations / inequalities and things like that, which we will be doing. But for these sorts of questions, I wouldn't advise a graph. So we're going to try and do this one without a graph, which is fine. Okay? The graph in the previous video was simply there to show you sort of what we might be looking at. Okay, and why it works and why you get different. So again, it looks like in this one, we've got A's and B's instead of X's and Y's. Same principle. It looks as though we're again going to get 2 sets of coordinates. Okay, so don't let that confuse you, okay? We might get 2 A's and 2 B's in our answer. We could. Maybe we'll get 1, maybe we'll get none. You know, you can get all sorts of things. Let's just jump into it, guys. So again, I'm just going to take a look at this, and I reckon, guys, I truly do, that we should rearrange the top one for B. Because again, B's on its own. It's on its own. It's nice when stuff's on its own. I don't want to get A. I don't want to rearrange for A in this top one, because if I did, I'd have to divide everything by 3, wouldn't I? Because I've got a 3A. I don't want to do 8 divided by 3. I don't want to do B divided by 3. I don't want to do it. So I'm going to go with B. So I'm going to rearrange the top equation, and I'm going to get B is equal to 8 minus 3A. I've taken 3A from both sides, and it's simply B is equal to 8 minus 3A. So B is literally the same thing as 8 minus 3A. Okay. So that means we can substitute into our second equation. So we've got 3A squared, that's normal, plus B squared. But we know what B is. B is 8 minus 3A. So I'm going to put in brackets 8 minus 3A. And I'm going to square it because B is still being squared. And then I'm going to set it equal to 28 because it's already equal to 28 and I haven't actually changed that. Okay? So again, all I've done is I've put B, which is 8 minus 3A, here because B was here. And remember, I've squared it because B is being squared as well. Guys, now we can rearrange again. So we're going to have 3A squared. And again, I'm going to expand these brackets out. So you can do this with FOIL, but we're going to just go straight up. So we're going to do first, that's going to be 8 times 8, which is 64. And outside would be 8 times minus 3A, so that's minus 24A. Okay. Inside would be minus 3A times 8, which is just another minus 24A. And last is minus 3A times minus 3A, which is positive 9A squared. Okay. And that's still equal to 28. Right, let's remove the brackets. You can just, oh, that plus sign should stay. We don't need to worry about the brackets. We can literally just rub them out because there was a plus sign in front of them. So it's fine. Absolutely don't even need the brackets there. Now, let's group up all of the like terms. So let's get the 3A's, or not the 3A's, let's just get the A squareds. There's an A squared, there's an A squared, 3A squared plus 9A squared. We have 12A squared, guys. Let's get the A's. Minus 24, minus 24, they're the only ones. So we have minus 48A. And let's get the constants. We've got 64, and that's all, is equal to 28. So we need to do 28 minus 64. And I am actually going to look at that mentally, and that is going to be minus 36. So we've got 12A squared minus 48A is equal to minus 36. Okay. And because, guys, this is like a quadratic, right? So I'm going to add the 36 onto the other side to get 12A squared minus 48, minus 48A plus 36 equals 0. And now, guys, you might look at this and think, quadratic formula time, but you can actually do one thing first to make it easier. All of these are multiples of 12. So we can actually divide everything by 12. Because it's equal to 0, and 0 divided by 12 is just 0 still, this is totally valid. So we can have a squared, because it's dividing by 12, minus 4a, because it's 48 divided by 12, plus 3, because that's 36 divided by 12, equals 0. Okay. Now we can say, okay, are there two numbers that multiply together to make 3 and add together to make minus 4? And we actually don't need to use the quadratic formula because there is. So the numbers that multiply together to make positive 3 and add together to make minus 4 is going to be minus 3 and minus 1, yeah? Because minus 3 plus minus 1 is minus 4, and minus 3 times minus 1 is positive 3. So that's still equal to 0. So do you see how we've just factorised this, but the one thing that could throw you off is the fact that these are a's and not x's, but it's the same thing. You can factorise this just like if they were x's. So guys, now we're just going to take a look at this, and we're going to say that a is clearly either 3 or 1, because if a was a 3 here, this bracket would go to 0, causing it to result in a 0. If a was 1, this bracket would go to 0, this second bracket here, resulting in a product of 0. So a is either 3 or 1, okay? If a is either 3 or 1, we know what b is. b is 8 minus 3a. So if we come over here, again, not very neat, let's do it over here. So now we're going to calculate b because we know what the a values are. The a values are 3 and 1. So if we substitute the 3 first, so this is going to be the pairing with the 3, I'm going to say that b is equal to 8 minus 3, and a is 3, so 3 times 3, which is the same thing as 8 minus 9, which is minus 1. Okay, so we have an answer here. I'm going to put the answer in. We're going to say, actually, I'm going to put it below. I'm going to put it here. A is 3, b is minus 1. That is a pair. You must write them together in your answer. That's a pair of answers, okay? Now we're going to evaluate when a is 1, because remember there are two a values. One of them is 1. So we're going to have 8 minus 3 times 1, which is 8 minus 3, which is 5, okay? And then that means that, here's another one of our answers, a is 1, b is 5. And those are the answers. So just to be very clear, you would put as your answer, if you did this question, a is 3, b is minus 1, and a is 1, b is 5, okay? If you want to make it really, really, really clear, you would say, you just, I guess, put them in a box or something, yeah, to show they go together. Why do they have to go together? Because they represent coordinates, okay? So the coordinate 3 minus 1 is an intersection. The coordinate 1, 5 is an intersection. Another thing is, just try substituting 3 for A and 5 for B. Like, they won't work. Try substituting 1 for A and minus 1 for B. They won't work. They will only work if you substitute 3 for A and minus 1 for B, then they'll work. Or 1 for A and 5 for B, then they will work. They're the only times they'll work. You can't mix and match like that, okay? So that is our quadratic nonlinear simultaneous equations, okay? You can do lots and lots of different types of these equations. There's loads of different questions like this, and maybe we'll do one more video actually on this because you can get some weird, funny situations with like square roots and stuff. So maybe we'll attack one of those. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.